So YouTube, this is Kieran from Team Name a Race with an updated deck profile on my Frog Monarchs. Thought I'd just do the update. I've had a couple of questions and comments and stuff about this, so I've had a couple of more tournaments since the last time, so thought I'd just update on how I've been doing and stuff, so I'll just show you how it's going. Obviously, these cards, main core of the deck. In my last deck profile, I was only running 2 swap frogs, but I'll put the third one in. It hasn't made much of a difference, but it helps consistency, so figured why not. That's it for the core, so we'll go on to hand traps. Triple maxi. Last time I was running 2, but after being in a couple of tournaments, it just helps. Even if someone drops a tour guide and XYZs, you drop that on the tour guide effect, you always get a +1. Double effect veiler. They actually really do just stop the OTKs and stop effects that you don't like. These are really needed. Gauze, stop OTKs, and nobody likes Gauze, so you might as well run him if you want to be annoying anyway. Trag obviously has a million bent effects, but he's the same reason as Gauze, really, it's just to stop them OTKs. Battle faders, obviously you want him to stop OTKs, the attacks that are going to leave you low and stuff, but these are just so good for tribute for your Monarchs. Right, so now you just choose tribute monsters. Dark Dust Spirit, monster removal and stuff like that, but he gets bounced at the end phase, but it's still good to drop him, destroy everything, poke for 2/2, bounce to hand, you've still got him for next turn. I don't care if his spirit, I think he's really good. Jinzo is such an underrated card at the minute. He has actually won me quite a lot of games. The amount of times I've dropped him and my opponents just scooped it, it's just been so beautiful, and I love this card again. Monarchs, we've got Triple Razor. I still think he's my favourite Monarch of all time, because he just sets your opponent back a turn, and that's just such a good thing. Gains your advantage, as well as Caius. Banishing any monster, good for Zen mains, good for anything that can't be destroyed or anything like that. So even if your opponent's on less than 1,000, you can just target himself and get yourself game. So yep, he's good. Now for another good tribute monster. Light and Darkness Dragon. If you don't know what he does, every time an effect's activated, it negates it, but it loses 500 attack and defense. So even being on 2/8 attack and 2/4 defense, he gets 4 negates. So that already gains your advantage anyway, but if he's destroyed, no matter where he's destroyed, and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard and nuke your field. So even if you summon him and get Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgment, he still gets his effect to bring something back. So yeah, unlucky Solemns. Right, so that's it for the monsters anyway, so we're going to spells. Foolish Burial. Obviously to get your tree born to the graveyard quicker, but that is a really needed staple in this deck. But just for your average, well, not your average, but your usual staples, so Dark Hole, MST, Monster Reborn's, Heavy Storm. I only run the 1 MST because there's not a lot of things at the minute you want to get rid of. The only thing that main deck wise, if you're playing against an opponent, you want to get rid of is macro. When you're playing against macro or anything, but you side like another couple of MSTs or Mobius as well, as I do side, because they're just really good anyway for clearing all stuff you don't want to see. Pot of Duality, just to help consistency. I mean, you don't always have to bring back your Treeborn Frog, or this can help you get your swap frogs a bit quicker. Triple Soul Exchange, obviously for more advantage. You Soul Exchange one of their monsters, drop your Caius, that's immediately a +1 anyway, so yep, really good. Enemy Controller. Obviously it has the effect to change the battle position of an opponent's monster, but if you, just a quick combo with this, if your standby phase, you bring back a Treeball Frog, you can chain this in your standby phase from your hand, tribute the Treeball Frog, take an opponent's monster, and still bring back your Treeball Frog, so you can then, you've got 2 monsters there, tribute for Light and Darkness, which makes that really good. So yep, that's it for the main deck anyway, so quickly jump to the extra, which is backwards. So we'll go backwards. 2 Slacker Magicians, obviously 2 level 1s to make it, but he is such a pain in the ass, it's so good. Double Tribble Frog or Battle Fader dropped, bring back Treeborn, go into this, it just stalls for a bit, it helps you recuperate some of your losses if you have losses, if not, just helps you get a bit more. I do a 1 Gachi at the minute, debating putting a second one in actually, but if you run frogs you need to run at least 1 anyway. Shining Elf, Don't summon this a lot, but it does help some of the time when you don't want to watch drop gachi, or if you haven't got gachi left. Rank 6s, Axe Beetle, Strike Bouncer, and Force Focus. Good for monster removal, good for annoying people, and in most cases this is really good anyway. Most of the time this is better than Bouncer, even against Mermail. Mermail, this is so much better. Obviously where Fire Fist, this is better, but mainly at the minute it's Mermail. But they drop a Megalo or something by ditching an infantry. You can chain this effect to stop the Megalo's effect of search, so at least then they don't get too much advantage from it. One Gaia Dragon, this is mainly for the Axe Beetle play, get rid of a couple of things, overlay for this, run over something else, or even attack directly. So yeah, that's kind of needed. I won one Heliopolis. This is for mainly when I drop a Trag. Well, this is actually only for the time when I drop a Trag. I can dish a line down this to take a level 8, mainly a Synchro or something like that, overlay into this, and you can just get rid of so much. And it's even better when you got a Tribal Frog in hand, so you can like detach one, tribute the Tribal Frog from hand, pop one card, and that's it. It's a Tribal in your graveyard. But that's it for the XYZs anyway. Synchros, I've got 4 minute Synchron, bring back the Frog, summon a Veiler. That's a draw. And it's even better when your opponent's got a Stardust and you can bring it to your side of the field with an enemy controller. There's no reason to not run Black Rose. You got a Monarch, you can summon a Veiler, blow the field. Simple as that. One Stardust. This is just to fill space. I don't feel it's needed that much anymore. Scrap Dragon, obviously really good level 8 Synchro, and a Crimson Blade, which is so broken it should not even be a rare. It should be ulti or ultra or anything like that, and multiple amount of rarities. They're just so good. And Chimera Tech because of Stardust in the side deck. Right, just quickly jump to my side deck for the time being anyway. Vanity's Fiend, really thinking about main decking these, but just the odd things putting me off about, like, you know, a couple of Mandy Meta decks, stuff like that, but just in case you know how he does. Nobody can special summon. Simple as that. 2 Star Dragons just for the machine matchup and the old macro matchup, so you can sort out your frogs and stuff. Special this, tribute for a Monarch. 2 Spear Reapers for the really aggressive decks, just so you can stall for a bit longer. Spell wise, 1 Burial for the Macro Rabbit or anything like that. Something that's got a Signing D fissure against you. At least you can put your frog back in the graveyard. 2 MSTs for the exact same reason. Just get rid of them macros and D fissures. 1 Treacherous Trapple, just for monster removal. Probably my favourite side deck at the minute. This is so silly, it's unbelievable. Opponent declares an attack, it does Heavy Storm, and you're not bothered about that, so this is such a bent card. You get so many pluses off, this is unbelievable. And double Mind Crush, just for the decks that you know are going to add cards to hand, which you're going to know about and know the names of, so it's always worth doing that, just in case you get them pluses. If not, it's always a 1-for-1. But cheers YouTube, hope you like my new updated deck profile. Just comment, rate, subscribe and everything down below. Cheers.